Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
After Abraham would fire Chris Perez for dating his daughter Selena, Selena and Chris Perez would actually sneak off, and on April 2nd, 1992, they would actually get eloped. And because Selena was a celebrity at this time, the media would quickly find out of what Chris Perez and Selena would be up to. And as soon as Selena's family would find out, they would quickly be looking all over for them. And it's said that Abraham would actually be infuriated that they had went and got eloped. So much so that Abraham would actually be on non-speaking terms with not only Selena, but Chris Perez. Eventually, Abraham would cool down and he would eventually approach Chris Perez and apologize for his statements. As when interviewers were interviewing Abraham about their marriage, he would call Chris Perez a chauvinist and would say that he fears that his whole intention is to force Selena out of the music industry. He would also accept Chris Perez into the family, and it's around this time that he would bring him back into the band. A month after Selena and Chris Perez had eloped, she would release her third studio album. And this particular album would be considered her breakthrough album. And again, my apologies if I am pronouncing it wrong. The album entitled Entre en Mi Mundo. It would actually stay on the Billboard for 8 consecutive months and sell over 600,000 copies. In Mexico, they would sell at least 300,000 copies. And Selena would really become a household name for herself, as she was the first female Tiana singer that ever hit 300,000 copies. She would continue doing her music career, and each album would do even better than before, and would even do a live album that would even get more popularity. She would also appear on multiple television shows, and these episodes, when aired, because Selena was in it, the views would actually go through the roof. But Selena wasn't just done with just the music, as she also wanted to brand herself and just make her a household name. She would actually make a brand and call it Selena, and during this time she was also doing interviews, and around these times that she was encouraging kids to stay in school. And it's around this time in 1994 that she started branching out and trying to create her own brand, and wanted to start designing her own clothing line that she would call Selena, etc. She would open up 2 stores, and these stores would be completely different than any other brand store that most celebrities had done up until this time. As her biggest passion wasn't just selling a clothing line that she would create, but she would also make this clothing line not just a clothing store, but also a boutique. She would design her clothes specifically to the type of style that she dressed whenever she was going out in public and on stage. But she would also tell people that you didn't also have to get a t-shirt, you could also get your hair and your nails done. Now at this point in time, Abraham was communicating with Selena, and after these boutiques and these shops were opened up, they went over ideas of who they could have manage these stores. And Abraham would suggest the idea, why don't we ask Yolanda to manage these boutique stores, as she's been doing very successfully for the fan club. After hiring Yolanda for the boutique stores that she had opened up, Selena would quickly appoint Yolanda as her registered agent in San Antonio. But even though Yolanda would live in San Antonio, she would quickly move from San Antonio to Corpus Christi to be near where Selena and Chris Perez lived. Now, after these boutiques were opened, Selena would gross a lot of money from these stores, and it said that she would gross over $5 million. But the success would not last long. By December of 1994, the businesses started having problems, where employees would actually contact Abraham and Selena about Yolanda's behavior around these stores. And it said that Yolanda would have almost a godlike complex. If she didn't like an employee, she fired them with no given reason. If a customer came in that she did not approve of, or if someone was trying to talk to Selena that she did not approve of, she would kick them out of the store. And these customers and employees would try to go to Selena about their queries about Yolanda, but she would just quickly dismiss them. And it would not be until a certain employee would contact Abraham that they would do a deeper dive into Yolanda. It's also around this time that Yolanda would actually buy Selena a very, very original ring that she would wear constantly on her hand. And anytime that she was taking pictures, you could actually see this ring on her hand. But Abraham would get a very disturbing call as one employee would contact him about money. And on this particular afternoon, this employee would contact Yolanda about missing some money, and she would ask her to come over to her place in Corpus Christi. And it said that when Yolanda would let this employee into her home, she would stand there in the living room, and this employee would claim that the entire walls were filled from top to bottom of newspaper clippings of Selena. And it was almost as if Yolanda was taking her entire house and turning it into her own personal shrine of Selena. And this employee would tell Abraham to remind or inform Selena to just be more mindful of Yolanda, as they felt that she was an obsessed stalker. And Abraham would take these claims very seriously, and it's around this time that he had told Selena to be more careful around Yolanda, but she would quickly dismiss these claims as her father had a habit of not trusting people. But this employee would not be the only one. It's around this time, by 1995, that not only family members, but even staff would express their concerns about Yolanda and her obsession to Selena and her management skills. After the news interviews, reporters would say her devotion to Selena bordered on the line of obsession. And by January of 1995, Abraham would receive again yet another phone call, but this time from the fan club that Yolanda had started. And this angry fan would tell Abraham that they had been paying money for the fan club, but they had not received any of the gifts that they were supposed to be getting from sending the money from this fan club. And it's around this time that Abraham would find out that Yolanda, during her time at the boutiques and the fan club, had been embezzling money from Selena and her family. To be precise, she had embezzled, with the help of her sister, over $30,000. After Abraham would receive this information, he would quickly have a meeting with Selena and Suzette so they could arrange a meeting with Yolanda to confront her about the missing embezzled $30,000. They would actually do a deep dive about this $30,000, and out of that $30,000 that was embezzled, she would actually use that embezzled money to pay for the ring that Selena wore that she gave her. They would also find out from this embezzled money that the money and the bad forged checks of where all this money was going was actually going to a bank account that was under her sister's name. And this is the information that they had leading up to when they would question Yolanda about the missing $30,000. And they would confront Yolanda about the embezzled money and where it had went. And Yolanda would claim that she was completely innocent, that she'd never embezzled any money, to which Abraham would tell her, then why is it going to your sister? And would tell her, you have to show us proof that you're not embezzling this money. And if you cannot show proof that you have not embezzled this money, then we will contact the local authorities. And it's after this altercation that Abraham would refuse Yolanda to be able to be around Selena whatsoever, which Selena would completely disagree with this decision, as she agreed that Yolanda should have been terminated from the business, but she did not want to end her friendship with Yolanda, a decision that would have grave consequences.